Okay, a very good morning, afternoon, evening to whoever and whenever you see and watch this. Um, I greet my brothers and sisters in Africa, in the diaspora, and particularly America, with revolutionary greetings of peace. Um, the supposed uprising in the U.S. over the killing of unarmed black man in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Um, I think the lesson we learn here is that if we don't learn the lesson of history, we're condemned to repeat it. And unfortunately and sadly, we're repeating it all the time. We repeat the silly. We do the same thing and expecting different results, and that's a fundamental problem in the African American community. We do something exactly the same thing with the same mentality, with the same consciousness, and expect a different outcome. It's impossible. From the days of from 1864, the advent of Jim Crow law in America for the African American community has not changed. It's not changed substantively. It's just morphed, where we have the same thing, the same lynching happening, and we have people like Will Smith who says, "Well, it hasn't. It's just been filmed. It's not been filmed. The films. It's always been filmed. If you go to postcards in the 19th century, postcards of lynchings of people, black people being lynched in America, and postcards were sent all over America. It was always filmed. It was always recorded. Lynching of black people has always been recorded. It is a morbid and profoundly strange byproduct of American society. Um, However, so just coming back to the looting, rioting, blah 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 blah. What do we know about this? And I'm going back to Malcolm X's time, Martin Luther King's time, even before them and after them. Same story. You get mad, you uh, you protest. You know, as a given, the FBI, CIA, whatever government agency, including the police, will put agent provocateurs amongst you and uh, start doing the kind of things that opens the protest to severe police mishandling of the situation. And it's the police usually themselves, the FBI, the CIA, they're all there. You know this as a given and as a fact. They're going to be amongst you and going to throw a stone and hide the hand. And guess who gets punished is yourself. I mean, I was just looking at some of the protests. 90% of them are white. What are white folk doing there? What are white people doing there? So I'm just going to work backwards from something quickly. If white people in the US didn't want the situation where black people are still in the year 2020, being brutalized and lynched in public and other places. Trust me, if they didn't want it, it wouldn't be there. They want it there. It benefits their status quo. It benefits their situation of privilege. So don't believe that white people are on your side. If white people are on your side, they would have stopped this shit a long time ago. Don't even go there. So black people believe that by protesting, singing these funny songs and repeating these slogans ad nauseum, that is going to work. It hasn't worked. It hasn't brought you anywhere. Since 1865, since the advent of Jim Crow, it has not changed your material conditions. Black people only advance in America because white people allow you. It's strange that I watched the Death Row Chronicles, the Tupac Chronicles. Same thing. Who was at the head of it all the time, all the way, was always white guys. Who was fomenting trouble between the two? Always white guys. Okay, so the status quo hasn't changed. Your material condition hasn't changed. So I want to just assist you with something. And this is not difficult. This is quite easy. I have always told, and I've coached young black kids in South Africa, and I've always told them, not a single white team, if you follow my instruction and you discipline to my instruction, not a single white team, no matter how good they are, can beat you. And we've proven this. We've proven this over and over again. We thrash white teams. And I'll tell you why. And I'm talking about international teams in Europe. And I'll explain to you why. When black people can understand the fundamental rule of white supremacy and how it operates, you will understand how to extricate yourself from that and how to defeat white supremacy. Because white supremacy must be defeated, or it will defeat you, or it will continue to defeat you. White supremacy is like a chessboard. White always attacks first. Black always defends. I repeat that. White supremacy operates like chess. White always attacks first. Black always defends. So this is an ad nauseum cycle which you're caught in. They beat you up, they lynch you, you can't take it anymore, you start protesting. Go back. Rodney King, death of Malcolm X, death of Martin Luther King, same shit, different year. When I was in America in the 90s, early 90s, Denver, LA, New York, Miami, Bloods versus Crips, drive-by shootings. That shit is still happening today ad nauseum. We've had so many teachers, wise teachers, being afforded and thrown up by the black community in America, and still we find ourselves nowhere. Ask yourself, what is the mistake? What's the error? So I'm going to just help you with this. First of all, stop your fucking protesting. This is what they want. They want you to protest so they can mislead your protest. It's very simple. You can put agents in your protest, and turn it against you, and then justify action, heavy-handed action by the police and your so-called president, or the president something. You voted. Black people have voted ad nauseum, and you're still in the same shit you were in since 1865. You haven't moved forward. They haven't allowed you to move forward. You haven't moved forward as free people. You've been allowed to move forward at the behest of white supremacy, at the behest of white people who control white supremacy. Without white people, there wouldn't be white supremacy, of course. I mean, it goes without saying. So we want to just share some quick, here's a quick way out for you. Stop fucking around now. Come on. You're fucking around. That's what you're doing. You can engage in protest without a single person being hurt, without a single person being arrested. How do you like this? Here's the option. This is what we did in South Africa. So please, the ANC didn't bring freedom to South Africa. All of the contributors, the millions of dollars all over the world given to the ANC, the PAC, the AZAPO, didn't bring freedom to black people in South Africa. But let me tell you what punished white people. We called it consumer boycotts. Started, you might remember, 1980, we started with a red meat boycott. Started a clothing boycott. We hurt white business badly. So now let's come into the subject of business. Let's look at America. African Americans collectively spend 1.4 trillion US dollars per annum. 1.4 trillion. Internal, domestic, I'm talking about just domestic tourism of Americans flying in and out of going to Vegas, going to wherever inside America. You spend 55 billion US dollars per annum. I'm not even talking about how much you spend at Macy's and Chick-fil-A and Wendy's and Pizza Hut and McDonald's and KFC, etc., 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 etc. How much you spend on Hennessy and Moet and all of these brands. The white system of operation operates on a consumerist model. You're the ultimate, black people are the ultimate consumers. All you need to do is to stop the bullshit in South Africa. In America, it's very easy. Choose a brand. Let's choose Coca-Cola. And you know why Coca-Cola's global head office moved to Atlanta in the 90s? Because the number one consumers of Coca-Cola is the black community. And Coca-Cola spends an inordinate amount of money in the black community. Genuinely. Really? You think genuinely? No, not genuinely. It is because for the simple reason that the black community underpins and supports Coca-Cola. Start with Coca-Cola. Ban Coca-Cola for 1 week. Black folk must not drink Coca-Cola for 1 week. And then the next week, you don't for 2 weeks, don't ban and boycott McDonald's. Because when you hurt them, you must hit them where it hurts. They are ready for you to walk up and down throwing stones and going, no peace, no justice, no peace, no justice, all that fucking stuck record bullshit. You've been doing this since the 60s. It's gotten you nowhere. It has gotten you nowhere. It's disgusting. No justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. Same shit. Different year, different era, different decade. Same shit. Punish them with money. Punish McDonald's. And McDonald's will run to the president of America and say, you're fucking around with this thing. Punish Macy's. Punish Amazon. Punish Facebook. Punish white business. You don't have to go into the street. You don't have to say, no justice, no peace. You don't have to throw stones, pebbles, fucking lose your voice. Sit at home. Sit at home. They want you. You've been trained with this COVID-19 thing to sit the fuck at home. So sit at home and punish white business. Do it in your street. Do it in your community. Do it in your city. Do it in your state. Punish white business. And you will see how quickly they will turn. How quickly they will listen to your demands. Punish Hennessy. Punish Hennessy. Do you know how much Hennessy African Americans are consuming? Do you know how much? Without African Americans, McDonald's will die. Punish them for 1 month, and you will see change in your material conditions, in your political condition in Nigeria, in America. The time has come where you must do something fundamentally different as a collective, because you're suffering as a collective. I say to you again, with due respect, you cannot apply the same consciousness to a problem and expect a different result. Change your way of thinking. Let black attack first, but not attack throwing stones, pebbles at buildings. Punish them with money, and you will see the result. Peace.